It was June 14, 2019, a quiet Thursday morning in the small town of Silver Creek, Mississippi. The kind of morning where life moves slowly, filled with the sound of birds chirping and neighbors exchanging friendly greetings. Yet, as the day unfolded, it would become one that the town, and the nation, would never forget. That morning, emergency services responded to a call from a rural area just outside of town. What they found would shake even a monster to their core. A young pregnant woman, Rachel Harper, just 22 years old, was discovered lifeless in her home. The scene was brutal, violent, and deeply personal. Rachel had been attacked inside her own home, a place where she should have felt safest. But the horror didn't end there. Rachel was 7.5 months pregnant with her second child. Yet, when investigators arrived, they were struck by a chilling realization: the baby was gone. Taken from her womb. What followed was a desperate manhunt and an unraveling of a story so deeply disturbing, it seemed unimaginable. At the center of it all was Tina Marie Collier, a woman who had built an elaborate web of lies, deceit, and manipulation. Her actions were calculated, her motives unsettling. How does a seemingly ordinary woman commit such an unthinkable act? What led Tina Collier to brutally end the life of a young mother in an attempt to claim a child that was not hers? This is the case of Tina Marie Collier, a story of deception, tragedy, and the dark lengths one woman was willing to go for a dream that was never hers to begin with. Stay with us as we uncover how Tina Collier fooled her friends, her family, and even herself, and how her lies ultimately led to one of the most horrifying crimes in recent history. At the heart of this story is Tina Marie Collier, a 29-year-old woman whose life appeared, on the surface, to be just like anyone else's. She had a family, a social circle, and a presence on social media that painted the picture of a woman excited about the future. Tina shared posts about her supposed pregnancy, expressing joy over the arrival of a child she claimed was due any day. She attended baby showers, presented ultrasound photos, and spoke in glowing terms about her upcoming journey into motherhood. But Tina's life was far from the picture she painted. Beneath the surface was a woman deeply struggling, emotionally, mentally, and financially. Tina had been unable to conceive a child, something she desperately longed for. Over time, this longing turned into an obsession. Her inability to have a baby of her own became a source of pain and frustration, one that would drive her to desperate measures. Friends and family would later reveal a troubling pattern in her behavior, a history of lies, manipulation, and fabrications designed to make her life seem more stable and fulfilling than it really was. It was this obsession with creating a perfect life, one she felt she deserved, that would lead Tina down an unthinkable path. A path that crossed with the life of Rachel Harper, a 22-year-old woman who embodied the joys of motherhood. Rachel was a young wife and mother who lived with her husband and young daughter in Silver Creek. She was known for her kind heart, infectious smile, and the love she had for her growing family. At the time, Rachel was 7.5 months pregnant with her second child, a baby girl she planned to name Addison. Her family and friends described her as radiant, glowing with the excitement of welcoming another child into the world. Rachel had everything to look forward to. Her life was filled with promise, until the morning of June 14. That day began like any other. Rachel's husband, Eric, left early for work, leaving Rachel at home with their 3-year-old daughter. She was likely preparing for the baby's arrival, organizing her home, and counting down the weeks until her new daughter would be in her arms. But what no one could have imagined was that Tina Collier had chosen that very morning to carry out a plan she had been meticulously crafting. Tina had made it her mission to convince everyone around her that she was pregnant. She had faked medical appointments, stolen ultrasound photos, and even wore a prosthetic belly to complete the illusion. But as her supposed due date approached, Tina faced an impossible problem: there was no baby. And she knew it was only a matter of time before her lies unraveled. In a horrifying twist, Tina's desperation led her to target Rachel, a young mother whose pregnancy represented everything Tina could never have. The two women were not strangers. Tina had known Rachel for years, even attending her wedding. Rachel trusted Tina, and that trust would prove devastating. On the morning of June 14, Tina arrived at Rachel's home under the guise of friendship. What unfolded next remains one of the most shocking and brutal crimes Mississippi has ever seen. Rachel was attacked in her own home, where she should have been safest. The violence was incomprehensible. Tina's goal was clear: to take Rachel's baby, no matter the cost. By the time authorities arrived, Rachel was gone. Her body bore the marks of a struggle that spoke to her strength and her determination to protect her unborn child. But Tina had succeeded in her horrifying plan. She had taken Rachel's baby from her womb and fled, leaving behind a scene that would haunt investigators and loved ones alike. What followed was a desperate search for Tina and the baby. Law enforcement across multiple counties raced against time, knowing that every minute was crucial. For the Harper family, the hours dragged on in anguish, as they grappled with the sudden and violent loss of a daughter, a wife, and a mother. And yet, amidst the tragedy, there was a glimmer of hope. The baby, later named Victoria, survived the ordeal. She was found in Tina Collier's car, alive but in need of immediate medical attention. As investigators began piecing together the events of that morning, a picture emerged of a crime so methodical, so calculated, that it left even seasoned detectives struggling to process the depth of Tina Collier's actions. By the time Rachel's body was discovered, Tina was already miles away, speeding toward Louisiana with baby Victoria in her car. Tina's plan was as bold as it was horrific. She intended to pass the newborn off as her own. But what Tina hadn't anticipated was the meticulous work of law enforcement and the relentless determination of a community that refused to let this tragedy go unanswered. It didn't take long for authorities to connect the dots. A be-on-the-lookout alert was issued across state lines. Tina was stopped by state troopers near Rayville, Louisiana, claiming she had just given birth on the side of the road. Her story, however, quickly began to unravel. The newborn was rushed to a nearby hospital, and Tina's inconsistencies immediately raised red flags. Hospital staff, trained to detect signs of deception, noted that Tina showed no physical signs of recently giving birth. Medical records revealed no evidence of prenatal care, and Tina's claims were scrutinized further. As investigators delved deeper into Tina's past, they uncovered a disturbing pattern of behavior. Tina Marie Collier had spent months constructing an elaborate web of lies, convincing friends, family, and even her boyfriend that she was pregnant. She staged photo shoots with a prosthetic belly, shared stolen ultrasound images, and fabricated doctor's appointments. To those around her, Tina appeared to be an expectant mother eagerly awaiting her baby's arrival. But in reality, she was preparing for an unspeakable act. The discovery of Rachel's body brought the case into sharp focus. The brutality of the crime scene painted a picture of the unimaginable violence Rachel endured. Forensic evidence, witness testimonies, and Tina's own contradictions began to close in on her. Rachel's family, devastated by the loss of their beloved daughter, came forward to share her story. They spoke of Rachel's joy, her love for her children, and her excitement about the life she was building. Her mother, Linda, described Rachel as a bright light in their family, a light that Tina extinguished in her pursuit of a twisted fantasy. In the days following Tina's arrest, the story gained national attention. Media outlets detailed the shocking crime, and the small town of Silver Creek became the epicenter of one of the most horrifying cases in recent history. As the case moved toward trial, the full scope of Tina's deceit was laid bare. Prosecutors described her actions as premeditated, pointing to the months of planning and manipulation that led to the murder. In court, Rachel's family faced the woman who had caused them unimaginable pain. They listened as prosecutors detailed how Tina's obsession had spiraled out of control, culminating in the loss of a beloved daughter, wife, and mother. They heard about the moments leading up to Rachel's death. The attack was violent and calculated. Tina had come prepared with tools to carry out her plan. She used a scalpel to perform a crude and brutal cesarean section to take the baby. The scene investigators encountered was one of unimaginable horror. Rachel had fought back, doing everything in her power to protect herself and her unborn child, but she was overpowered. But amidst the pain and anger, there was also a sense of resilience. Baby Victoria, though born under the most tragic of circumstances, survived. Her survival became a symbol of hope, a small light in the darkness that had engulfed the Harper family. The trial was as emotional as it was revealing. Prosecutors painted a picture of a woman driven by obsession and deceit, willing to take a life to maintain her lies. Witnesses testified about Tina's manipulative behavior and the lengths she went to convince others she was pregnant. Rachel's family sat in the courtroom, forced to relive the details of her final moments, knowing the pain and fear she must have endured. Rachel's mother, Linda, spoke at the sentencing, describing the immense loss her family felt. She talked about Rachel's love for life, her joy in being a mother, and the hole her absence had left in their lives. Linda's words were a reminder that this crime wasn't just a shocking headline, it was a deeply personal tragedy for a family that would never be the same. Tina Marie Collier was ultimately convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death. The courtroom was filled with a mix of relief and sorrow as the verdict was read. For Rachel's family, justice had been served, but no sentence could ever undo the pain of losing her. This case is a reminder of the fragility of trust and the devastating consequences of unchecked lies and desperation. It's a story that leaves us grappling with the question, how could someone go so far, and at what cost? As we close this chapter, we remember Rachel Harper, a young woman whose life was taken far too soon. Her family's strength and the survival of her baby remind us that even in the darkest moments, there is a flicker of light. In the years since the crime, Rachel's family has worked to honor her memory. They have shared her story as a way to keep her legacy alive and to raise awareness about the dangers of unchecked deceit and desperation. Baby Victoria, now in the loving care of her father and family, serves as a symbol of hope and resilience. This case has left an indelible mark, not just on the community of Silver Creek, but on anyone who has heard the story. It is a reminder of the fragility of trust and the devastating consequences of lies that spiral beyond control. Rachel Harper's life was one of love and promise, and though it was cut tragically short, her memory lives on in the hearts of those who loved her. What do you think drove Tina Collier to commit such a horrifying act? Do you believe justice was truly served? Let us know your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more cases that uncover the darkest corners of human behavior. If this case has gripped you as much as it has the rest of the world, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Secret in the Dark. We uncover true crime stories that reveal the darkest depths of human nature and the unrelenting pursuit of justice. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Like this video to help us reach more viewers, and share it with anyone who would find this story as haunting and thought-provoking as you did. We want to hear from you. What's your theory about this case? Was justice served? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching Secret in the Dark. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.